Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and today we're going to be removing that old wood door and installing a brand new pre-finished Avasar door in its place. Let's do it. So one thing you'll notice is that in remodeling in general, we try to be really precise with demolition. You'll notice we're not coming in here with like a sledgehammer and just busting it all out. We're really like trying to take it apart one piece at a time. And the idea behind taking it out one piece at a time is we're not creating more work for ourselves, because if we come in and just start busting it out with like a sledgehammer or something, there's potential for us chipping this tile, you know, doing stuff to the siding, like wrap around the side of the house. So we just want to prevent all of that and just take out what we're taking out and then put it right back. You want your sticker, Roy? No? No.
Why not? I don't like, nobody likes solicitors, man.
I should call Jeff and have him bring the permit over. That would be good. Dude, this is like the weakest point of entry for like under like storm conditions especially. So, hello? Hey, can you run the permit over to me? I totally forgot it when I was at home. So what we're dealing with is a block construction home. There's block framing all around this opening of the door. So we're going to be using to go through the actual frame of the door to tie it into the framing of the house is tab-cons, which are structural connectors made to go into concrete. The important point is it'll meet Florida wind code, and you won't need storm protection on it. There's no such thing as a square wall. Never.
Not in Florida.
Not in Florida. John, you know what might make this easier? Is if we actually pull the door away, cut the drywall and put the door back. I got it on this side. So we're hitting still where? Here?
So we need to trim this back because it's right here that we're hitting.
Yeah.
Bradley, I'm gonna go get a haircut today. You wanna go?
Never. Do I need it? Yes. Am I gonna get one? Absolutely not. Even though my sister cuts my hair for free, it's still too expensive. Like, I just like really candid stuff. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So what John's been doing for the past couple of minutes is checking square and plumb, and he's been checking it on both sides of the frame, because with really any frame, but especially with a fiberglass frame, you can get the frame can twist and warp. So you really have to check that you're square and plumb on both sides of the door. And as of right now, John, we're square and plumb, right? Both sides?
Both sides, I still gotta check the top though.
What we're checking is you have to check the door in all dimensions. So like we were square and plumb vertically, and then when we actually threw the level on the top of the bottom of the door, we had to come up about 3/8 of an inch on this side of the door. So really it's important to check all dimensions, because we have to be, you know, just sitting ideally perfectly square, you know, or within, you know, a 32nd of an inch there. So, and if you're not, it'll affect the swing of the door, and you won't get that nice, easy close. You can never have too many measurements, I guess, is the moral of the story. Every Avasar door comes with this nice little velvet Crown Royal looking bag. And inside of it, a little unpackaging here, you've got your lock instructions, you've got your, we'll ignore those. In more northern applications where wind code isn't as big of a deal, you can use those screws. But for us, we have to use, I've got these guys right here. This is what we're putting in to the frame of the door here. As you can see, they're much beefier. And these are actual structural connectors that will, you know, for the intent of engineering, they'll make the frame part of the house. So we got plugs that are pre-finished, same color as the door. And then we've got a bunch of hardware, extra screws, extra lock set, batteries, stuff like that. So, and keys also. The intent is Avasar ships you everything you should need to install the door. You know, there's some other stuff like shims and tab-cons and stuff, but they're pretty close, and they're the best solution I've seen. Most people just ship you the door. So Jeff is my stepdad, and he's the owner of the company, and he's a licensed general contractor. So what he's doing here is with the larger bit, he's making room for these little pre-finished plugs that'll go right in, and then a little bit of touch up around the edges of them. It'll look like they were never even there.
Best thing, McDonald's orange juice. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Oh my God. The reason he's using two different drills is because this is actually a hammer drill. So once it actually gets pressure on it, you know, it spins normal like a normal drill. But once you get pressure on it, it actually like hammers. It has a rotating that'll knock away, because what we're going into is block, which has to be chipped away. And for the Tapcons, he's using an impact driver. You just have to do less work, I feel like, with an impact driver. It does the work for you. How do you get your pencil to stay behind your ear? Oh, you put it up in your hat. That's what the hat's for. There's a solid piece of concrete that goes all the way across this opening. And that's a requirement by Florida building code. You just have to have, over any opening, you have to have a solid header. So in block construction, it's a solid poured lintel. That's what that's called. Knowledge. I wonder if that'll do it. What do you think? Oh, it's pretty clean, actually. We're going through that concrete header, which is reinforced with rebar. So we hit the rebar. So now we just got to get a bit that can go through metal and just punch the pilot hole through the metal, and then it'll still work.
Good. This is a big drill. This is what's going to get the job done.
All right, right here.
You like my safety glasses?
Yeah. Oh, shut up.
There we go.
So the cool thing about doing remodeling is there's not necessarily like a right answer for how you like trim something. You really have to like be, you know, I mean, in new construction there is, but when you're going into an existing structure and making something new look good with what's existing, you really just have to like work with the materials that you have and just kind of make stuff work. As we do more of like these kind of things, you just tend to acquire more and more tools, and you're like, oh, that's similar to this other situation I was in. I bet I can make that work. And then you figure out how you can make it work, and then, you know, just kind of like add it to your mental tool bag. So we pulled off all the old trim nice and gently. So it's all in pieces and it's already pre-cut. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna tack in the new, we're literally just gonna hammer where each of the old nails are and get them set in the drywall. We'll add a couple new ones just to hold it. But we're literally just reinstalling the old trim. If you're careful when you remove the trim, you can put it right back and it'll look exactly, and customers want that a lot because you're not necessarily changing all the rest of the trim in the house. Careful demolition leads to a lot less work on the back end. Basically now we're just finishing up the final trim out of the exterior of the door. And then basically that's it. Caulk and paint on the trim. We've got a little, we'll make a second trip to do a little bit of aluminum work that we didn't realize we were gonna have to do, but pretty easy stuff. We're basically done. It's just like final punch out now. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of Home Love Construction and Dan Trujillo Media, and looking forward to bringing you more. We'll see you.